In John 4:1, it says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone into the world." Now, what this means is that if you don't know how to value your energy, you are going to be severely mistreated, which is why you must learn how to discern whether or not spirits are of God or not. Now, one of the ways that you can do this is by looking at the type of fruits that people produce. Like, what is their essence producing? What are their results that they're going through? And what are the stages in their own life that are manifesting themselves before you? And is there potential to be with these kinds of people down the line or not? And it's also a testament to whether or not they're reaching for something higher. You know, that's really what this comes down to is, are you dedicated to the higher spiritual channels, or are you thinking that all that glitters is gold? Because all that glitters is not always gold. It's not always golden. That's the quote by William Shakespeare, I believe. But there's also in the song "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin, the lyrics go something like, "And she's buying a stairway to heaven." It's like she wants to be sure. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, because sometimes words have two meanings. And so it's almost like a testament to how words, like scripture, can have multiple meanings to them. And if we don't know how to associate ourselves and really discern what these words are producing, then we're not going to be able to know what steps to take along that stairway to heaven. And it's about taking the high road as well. Like, how are you morally, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and physically aligned? Are you, like, I've been around people that act like they like me, and yet I leave the situation feeling just attacked, like spiritually attacked. Like, I used to have this one barber in the past where I would go there and they'd act like, they like me and they want to talk to me. But when I left, I always got a headache, and I always felt like there's just something off about the experience, even though it seemed well on the surface. And so I have to decide that I'm going to not go to this place anymore. And as chosen ones, you might have to experience this quite a bit. The more you level up and the more people see the results that you have, if you live in a smaller town, or at least a town that you see the community often enough, they're going to start to witness the results that you have right in front of them. And it's going to be very challenging for some of them to accept that. And the reason being is because they don't want to necessarily see you doing well. They don't want to see that, because then it makes them feel as though them watching Netflix and not watching educational videos like this, at least, is actually hindering them on their path to life. And it is, but they don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that. They don't know what it's like to take the high road, so they'll try to bring you down. And so you want to be able to surround yourself with people that want to take the high road. They want to take that, they want to shoot for what is highest, they want to aim for what is highest, and they want to live their lives in accordance to the highest spiritual channels. But a lot of people from where you're at in your community may not like that. And I had, that's one of the reasons I had to switch gyms a few months ago, was like I started recognizing, well, I guess it was about half a year now, but it's one of the reasons I had to switch gyms was because I started to realize that if I wanted to be a little bit more of a certain kind of caliber in my physical activities, I have to surround myself with those kinds of people. And it's not like the people at this gym weren't doing well or anything like that. It's just I wanted to shoot for something higher. And so I got a new membership at a place where there's a lot more fit people and a lot more people that take their health seriously. But here's the thing. It's not always the case that a healthy body is a healthy spirit. You may have a good, sharp mind with a healthy body, and you may be really, really fit, and you may have a great, quick cleverness. You may have a great aspiration. You may be an inspiration to some degree, but is your spirit aligned? That's what I want to know. And so that's one of the reasons why you need to test the spirit. And so you not only need to look at what they're producing in their fruits in regards to how they're operating in the physical level, but how do they interact with people? What are they like around certain people? What are they doing with certain people, and how do they treat certain people based off of just who the people are and how they're interacting? You can also look to how well equipped people are to handle stress. And Nietzsche had a saying that you can tell a lot about somebody's character based off of how much truth they can tolerate. That's a hell of a quote. And what I think that means is that, obviously it's pretty self-explanatory, but I also think there's a deeper meaning because it's Nietzsche, and there's always something deeper with Nietzsche. And so I think that this toleration of truth, it's more as though it's a how much weight of the truth can you bear without your soul breaking? Because it can be a traumatic experience. Whenever you take the high road and you do not, you want to take the high road anyway, and that you do not value your energy, that's going to be a troublesome collection. That's going to be a troublesome intertwining of events where if you do not take your energy seriously and yet you want to take the high road, it's not going to work. Your spirit might break. And of course, there's that famous line in The Dark Knight Rises where Bane says to Batman, I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body. A lot of people don't have the spirit. I think also, was it Khabib in MMA that said Conor McGregor, for anybody that doesn't know the MMA world or the martial arts world, Conor McGregor and Khabib were at one point in time going through some big fights, and Khabib ended up winning Conor McGregor, and Khabib said that he was going to smash the boy. Like, he was going to smash that boy. Crazy stuff. But he did. He did it. And the reason Khabib said was that when his body starts to get tired, he doesn't have the heart to keep going, something like that. And that's exactly what it means to be a spiritual warrior to some degree as well. Because Khabib, he's from Russia, and he is a very, I don't know if religious is the right word, but he has a lot of faith, and he's a very faithful person. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't do any of that stuff. He's a very clean person, and it shows, like, in how he interacts with the martial arts world and how he is able to win. And this was years ago, but still I think it's relevant because of the story that he told and how it can reflect in what's going on with the chosen ones. As a chosen one, you're going to have to understand that there are going to be people that seem to have luxury. They're going to seem to have a lot of things, a lot of material possessions. And yet, no amount of material possessions could ever satisfy their soul. Their soul is not fulfilled. And they know their soul is not fulfilled. And so as a chosen one, as someone like you, who is able to just walk in, doing your thing, you may not even be as luxurious as them. And yet, you walk in, you do your thing, and people either hate you or love you. They admire you or they hate you. And sometimes they have a little bit of both. I've noticed this from more women lately, is like they have a weird conflict, an inner conflict, because they respect me, and yet at the same time they really don't like that I'm further along on the spiritual path. It's not exactly that they know that per se, they're not putting that into those words, but I can sense the energy of what is going on. And they're trying to casually control me in certain ways, and they don't even know it. They have these traumatic wounds that need to be addressed, but they don't even know it. And it's the same thing with some men that I know, like the men that I've interacted with, they almost always respect me, and yet some of them, the haters, which sometimes your haters will be a lot more forthright, which is a very great thing. I actually appreciate that. It's like, all right, you're an enemy. Great. Good to know. And I don't like the people that like to be snakes and pretend to be my friend, like that barber that I used to go to. And so you have to keep switching around. It's almost like a chess game. You have to keep moving the pieces in a certain way, and you have to sometimes sacrifice a pawn to get your bishop somewhere, or you have to sacrifice a horse to get your queen set up. It's a very strategic way you have to move as a chosen one. But you must test the spirits of the people that are around you. And you do that also by holding your ground, being assertive, being with yourself, and having a sense of self-identity. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.